Hey guys, welcome back to Cuttin' Up with Bae. Today we're having juicy pot roast, fried cabbage, some cornbread, and some rice. So let's get right into the recipe. I was at the store and I saw some Instapots on sale. They were about $30. So why not make some Instapot roast? So we have us a nice juicy beef roast here. We're going to start by seasoning it with some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder. We're also going to add some smoked paprika along with some onion powder. And make sure you guys check out the sale that I'm running on my website. Use code BAE, B-A-E, for 20% off. As you can see, we also added a little bit of chili powder. And all we're going to do is just flip our roast over and add those same seasonings on the other side. You're not obligated to use the seasonings that I use. Definitely feel free to mix it up, try some new stuff. Okay, so I have my Instapot here. It's just a regular, general, all-purpose Instapot. It's not name brand. I actually seen it on sale at Best Buy. You guys know how you go to the store for one thing and then you end up seeing other stuff. Well, that's what this purchase was. So basically, they had them on sale for like 30 bucks. I basically bought two. I already have a couple, but you can never have too many Instapots or air fryers and all of that stuff, right? So back to the recipe, we're going to saute our vegetables, onions, celery, carrots, a little garlic, and I'm actually going to set that aside while I sear our beef roast. So we're going to just sear this on both sides for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, until it gets just a little color on it. And then we're going to actually set our meat to the side so we can finish. So next, let's add our tomato paste. We're going to add 1 small can of that, and then we want to mix everything up until the tomato paste is coating all the vegetables. So I stirred this up for about a minute or 2 minutes. As you can see, everything has that nice red coating. Then we're going to add our flour to it, and we're going to mix the flour in as well. This can also take another minute or two, but trust me, this is worth it. Just have the patience and the reward will be amazing. So next I'm going to add a couple splashes of Worcestershire sauce. And then speaking of reward being amazing, how about you grab a glass and how about you treat yourself to some Moscato? Because that's my favorite wine, and this is the perfect cooking wine, especially when I'm braising or making roast or making short ribs. And by all means, feel free to substitute the Moscato with beef broth. You can substitute it with water. You don't have to add the red wine, but it definitely is a nice addition in my opinion. I also threw in some thyme. You can add in some rosemary as well. I didn't have any rosemary, but fresh herbs really kick this dish up and it takes it to the next notch as well. Now this next step is optional, but I like to add a little bit of browning just to give this a little color. It goes a long way. Now grab your roast, throw your roast into the Instapot, and then we're going to put the top on. I'm going to set the timer for about 2 hours, and then I'm going to work on the other side dishes. Now, I didn't want to do too much or get too fancy, so I have some cabbage here, we have some rice, and we're going to make some cornbread. So with the cabbage, I'm taking out that little middle part because we don't want that. We're then going to cut our cabbage up into decent bite-sized pieces, and then what I love about cabbage is cabbage goes a long way. Cabbage is cheap and you can make a nice big old pan, throw on some rice and a nice protein, and baby, you got you a nice hearty meal. It's gonna stick to your bones. You're gonna be happy. So I grabbed a bowl that can fit all my cabbage here, and then I'm gonna set that aside. I'm also going to chop up an onion. This is about a medium-sized onion, and I like sweet onions. You can get a regular white onion, a regular yellow onion, but if you do see a sweet onion, grab one. They're amazing. So I have some smoked beef sausage here. You can use turkey sausage, or if you don't want to have any meat in here, that's okay as well. You can just leave this part out. So I'm going to use about half of this sausage, and then the other half we can use for breakfast or something else. Now we're going to set this aside, but before we start cooking this, I want to cut up some bacon also. If you guys watched my old loaded cabbage video, I had everything but the kitchen sink in there. I had shrimp, we had bacon, we had sausage, we had some of everything in that cabbage, and it tastes so good. So I'll leave that original recipe recipe in the comments. Well, not the recipe, but the link to the video and the recipe. And you guys can compare and let me know which one you guys like best. So we cooked our bacon up. We're going to sit it to the side. We're going to let the grease drain off with that paper. And then I am going to use some of this leftover bacon grease to brown my sausages. So that's only going to take a couple minutes. And then we're going to do the same thing with these sausages. We're going to put them on the paper towels, let the grease drain off of them. And then we're going to actually move on to really making the cabbage. So let's start by throwing in our onion that we diced up. Next, you want to add in your garlic. I added in about a tablespoon, and then we're going to mix everything up and let that cook for like 30 seconds to a minute. So next we're going to add in our cabbage, and we're just going to pile it high. I'm going to let this cook for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And then I started to just fold in the onions with the cabbage. And I'm watching the cabbage kind of cook down. And that's perfect because I'm going to add my seasonings. I added some pink salt, which you can check out on my website. You can add some garlic powder, some onion powder. I have smoked paprika here we're going to add. We're even going to add just a tad bit of sugar because you want to balance all the seasonings and you want to balance out some of that bitterness from the cabbage as well. After you mix everything thoroughly, grab you a fork and taste test your food. Try it and see if it needs a little bit more pepper or see if it needs a little bit more sugar just to balance it out. You may not need anything at all, but this is a great point in cooking to try the food before you go any further. So now we're going to add our sausage and we're going to drop in a couple bacon crumbles. Next, you want to mix everything up. And I have my heat on like medium-low heat because I don't want it to overcook and I don't want my cabbage to cook down or wilt. Now, I don't know about you, but this cabbage looks so good right now. I know I got other stuff to make, but I'm just so close to grabbing me a bowl and going to watch my favorite show and coming back to this video another time. But I'm not going to do y'all like that. So let's go ahead and let's finish up. So we're going to put our cabbage in a bowl and we're going to set that aside. But man, that looked good. I can't even lie, y'all. Matter of fact, hit that like button for that cabbage right now. So I was going to make homemade cornbread, but I left out a very important ingredient. And I don't know about you, but every time I go to the grocery store, I tend to leave 1 or 2 things, even if I got a list. I'm just absent-minded sometimes, so we got to go with the Jiffy mix, but we're going to freak it and we're going to make it taste amazing. So we're going to follow the instructions with the milk. We're going to add the egg. We're going to add some sour cream, and we're going to add some honey. That is going to make you some moist, juicy cornbread. And, you know, it's cool when you don't have the ingredients. But if I do have the ingredients, then I love making me some cornbread because it reminds me of my grandma. That was a treat growing up. Like once that cornbread came out and she cut a nice fat triangle, oh man, that was like heaven on a plate. So I definitely enjoy homemade cornbread, but there's nothing wrong with taking a box and making it taste really, really good. So we're going to put this in the oven. I baked this for like 30, maybe 35 minutes max, and it came out looking delicious as normal. So now it's time to check on our roast. And baby, that's looking good already. I wish you guys could smell it. I'm telling you, it smells like Lifetime movies. It smells like a nice glass of wine with the fireplace on. It smells like a good night's worth of rest because you will have the itis. That's how good it smells in here. As you can see, this meat is so tender. It's just falling apart. So the last step is to add the potatoes. I use some smaller red potatoes. You can use white potatoes also. So I let this cook for another like 15, maybe 20 minutes. And when I took the potatoes out, I could see that they were soft and they were definitely done. And I want to make sure all my potatoes are done. So I'm just going to grab and fish for another one and just squeeze that. And yep, that one's perfect as well. So I think our pot roast is officially done. I'm telling you guys, I love Instapots because they really get the job done in a fraction of the time. As you can see, the roast is tender, the potatoes is tender, everything is tender. And I cannot wait to dig my fork into this dish. But before then, we got to make the plate. So go to your cabinets, grab you a nice shiny plate, and we're about to go ahead and make dinner a reality. So we're going to start off off with putting some rice on our plate. You know, nothing too fancy. Then I think I want to go with the cabbage next. No particular order, but I try to make the plate or set up the plate according to how I see it in my head. So now we're going to add our cabbage. Make sure we get some of that sausage on there, some of that flavor. And then we're going to add on some pot roast. So you can add as much or as little as you like. Hey, there's so much roast and so much leftovers that don't even be shy about wanting to get some seconds. It's enough for everybody. And hey, it's getting cold outside, so that extra little scoop of meat ain't gonna hurt nobody or hurt nothing. Go ahead and enjoy. And if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the recipe, please do me a favor. Can you guys hit the like button for me? If you are subscribed, I want to thank you for returning. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for watching. And I hope you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys check out the information in the description box for the recipe. And I just want to thank you guys for your support. You guys are so awesome. And I can't wait to kick out some more recipes. Like I've asked you guys before, drop me some comments and let me know what recipes you want. The holidays are coming up, and honey, I got time. Well, how that video go today? I got time, cuz? Yes. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Until next time, bye.